What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams. Happy Monday, and we're going to kick off our final week of Johnny Depp movies as we continue to celebrate his 60th birthday here on the channel. And today we're going to be discussing Finding Neverland, the story of J.M. Barrie, the author of Peter Pan. Starring, of course, Johnny Depp alongside Kate Winslet, Dustin Hoffman, Julie Christie, Freddie Highmore, Ian Hart, Kelly MacDonald, and Toby Jones. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. As I said in the introduction, this is our last week of Johnny Depp movies here on the channel as we wrap up our celebration of his 60th birthday. And today we're going to discuss Finding Neverland. And our movie begins in the year 1903, following the dismal reception of his latest play, Little Mary, as Sir James Matthew Barrie, J.M. Barrie, meets the widowed Sylvia and her four young sons, George, Jack, Peter, and Michael, in Kensington Gardens, and a strong, close friendship begins to develop amongst them. Barrie proves to be a great playmate and surrogate father figure for the four boys, and their imaginative antics give him ideas which he incorporates into a play about boys who do not want to grow up, especially one named after troubled young Peter Llewellyn Davies. Now, although Barrie sees this family as wonderful and inspirational, people begin to question his relationship with the Llewellyn Davies family. You see, Sylvia's husband died from cancer, leaving her with the four boys to raise on her own. Mary, Barrie's wife, eventually divorces him, and Sylvia's mother, Emma du Maurier, objects to the amount of time that Barrie spends with the family. Emma also seeks to control her daughter and her grandsons, especially as Sylvia becomes increasingly weak from an unidentified illness. Along the way, Barrie goes on adventures with Sylvia and her boys, as he too is a boy at heart. Spending time with the family is special to him. Barrie then takes those adventures that he has with the boys and makes them into a play that he calls Peter Pan. Producer Charles Frohman skeptically agrees to mount Peter Pan despite his belief that it holds no appeal for the upper class theater goers. So, Barrie peppers the audience on opening night with children from a nearby orphanage, and the adults proceed to react to their infectious delight with an appreciation of their own. Barrie is all set for his play, but when Peter arrives alone, he goes to Sylvia's house in order to check up on her and misses the entire show. The play proves to be a huge success, and Peter realizes that the play is about him, his brothers, and Barrie. Sylvia is too ill to attend the premiere, so Barrie arranges to have an abridged production performed in her home. He gets the actors, the props, and the musicians all together in the Llewellyn Davies house, and at the end of the performance, Peter Pan points to the back door and implies that Sylvia should go off to Neverland. She takes the hands of her boys and slowly walks out into Neverland. The living room and the back garden transform as Sylvia continues to walk out on her own. In the next scene, Everyone is at Sylvia's funeral. Barrie is then told that Sylvia's will states that she wanted he and her mother to look after the boys, an arrangement that is agreeable to both. We then see Barrie comforting Peter on the same bench in the park where they first met as our movie comes to its end. I really enjoy movies like this that are kind of inspired and based upon authors and how they find their inspiration for novels, plays, movies, whatever. A great um, a great example that I can think of to compare this with is a movie I reviewed last year around Christmas time called The Man Who Invented Christmas, which was about Charles Dickens coming up with the inspiration for A Christmas Carol. This movie was very much in the same vein, where you saw J.M. Barrie going through his life, meeting this woman, her sons, and just becoming the ultimate muses for a struggling author. And you watch his interaction with the boys, specifically George, Michael, and Peter. Jack to a lesser extent, but those three in particular, you kind of see his interaction with because Peter, everyone thinks of Peter Pan and the boy who doesn't want to grow up and all that stuff, very much was the realist in this. He almost had hook-like tendencies when you really break down the character and who everyone is supposed to be. Now, I'm not saying that the character of Peter did inspire Hook, but the fact that he seemed to be a little bit more grounded in reality, you very easily could peg him for Hook or the Darling Father, which, if I'm remembering correctly, his father is named George. So there's that connection. But you watch these characters and these boys and the interactions they have with J.M. Barrie, and then you think about the production of Peter Pan, regardless of which version you've seen. And I think most of us are most familiar with the Disney version, which I have reviewed. If you've missed my review of the Disney Peter Pan, I'll link it for you up here. But whether it's Mary Martin back in the 50s, whether it's Disney, whether it's Robin Williams and Dustin Hoffman in Hook, whichever version of the Pan story you're used to, even the Hugh Jackman Pan that came out in, I want to say, the mid 2010s there, like 2012, 13, 14, somewhere in that general vicinity. Regardless of what version you're used to, seeing the characters that inspired it really helps elevate it to a new life and a new appreciation for the story. Prime example, I have never ever been fond of the character of Tinkerbell. Just no. I don't know what it is about her. And even Julia Roberts portraying her in Hook at a time when Julia Roberts was like the it girl and the object of men's desires. I just never liked Tinkerbell. I feel like she was overplayed. She's over merchandised. You know, you could literally buy anything out there with her image on it, almost as much as, if not more than, Mickey Mouse himself. So I always referred to Tink as the Disney whore because for whatever price you were willing to pay, you get some with Tinkerbell on it. And then I watch this movie and I realize that Sylvia, the boy's mother, is Tinkerbell. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching everything play out, and specifically the abridged production of the play that they put on in her home because she's too ill to attend the premiere. And they get to the scene where Tinkerbell is dying in the play. And we need noise, we need applause, and all that stuff to bring her back, to make her light not dim. And you think about how Sylvia is sitting there literally dying as this is all going on. And I'm not afraid to tell y'all I was in tears. And then her getting up, being told by Peter Pan to go to Neverland, being led out to the backyard by her boys, essentially entering heaven. I was a wreck, y'all. I now have a new appreciation for the character of Tinkerbell. And I'm afraid now that the next time I watch the Peter Pan story and we get to that part, I'm not going to be able to look at it the same way again. Again, if you haven't seen this movie, I recommend it. If you are fans of stuff like this, I recommend it. If you've seen The Man Who Invented Christmas and enjoyed it, I recommend it. There's just so much good stuff going on. And then I hear and I read and I do my research that there was a scene that Dustin Hoffman objected to where he's actually wearing the Captain Hook costume, talking about how this play is not going to be a success and no one's going to buy into it. And basically the stuff that his character said within the movie, but he's doing it while wearing the Hook costume. And Dustin Hoffman objected to it. And I'm like, bro, come on. Because Dustin Hoffman portrays Captain Hook in the Robin Williams film Hook. It would have been a great little Easter egg, throwback, callback to that those of us that grew up with that movie would have got the joke for, while the younger generations that are just seeing this and maybe haven't seen that film yet wouldn't get. But we would. It would be a special joke between my generation and Dustin Hoffman. And to know he vetoed it kind of made me sad. I'm not going to lie. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to my rating for this film, I give this 4.5 out of 5 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed this tale and this story, and I look forward to adding it to my ever-growing movie library, putting it on my shelves, whether it's in DVD or Blu-ray format. This is definitely something that I want to get and hold on to forevermore. What do you guys think of Finding Neverland? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. And let's have that conversation, that discussion, that debate, that interaction that I'm always asking you guys for in the comments below. And make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right here to the Casa D18 Studios channel, as we once again open up the doors to Stat Boy Sports Bar, featuring Dory Lou. The food is hot, the beer is ice cold, and the seats are warm, so pull yourself up a bar stool and engage in some professional sports conversation with your barkeeps, Stat Boy Mike and Dory Lou. And then later on in the evening, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, and across the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media, it'll be time once again for the flagship show as we present Talk Wrestling with Jeff Meacham. 10:05 p.m. Eastern Time, immediately following WWE NXT. 7:05 Pacific Time, immediately prior to WWE NXT. If you're a West Coaster like myself, Jeff Meacham will be going live across the multiverse with another episode of Talk Wrestling. And then we will be back on Wednesday, right back here for another installment of Renegades Reviews as we discuss Public Enemies, starring Johnny Depp, Christian Bale, Marion Cotillard, Billy Crudup, Stephen Dorff, Stephen Lang, Stephen Graham, Emily DeRaven, Channing Tatum, Giovanni Ribisi, Casey Siemaszko, Lily Sobieski, and so many others. You don't want to miss out on any of that content right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media, Statboy Sports Bar featuring Dory Lou, Talk Wrestling with Jeff Meacham, Public Enemies, and then we've only got one more movie after that as we continue to wrap up our celebration of Johnny Depp's 60th birthday right here on Renegades Reviews. Again, you don't want to miss any of it, so make sure you smash that like button, make sure you subscribe, make sure that notification bell is turned on so you don't miss out anytime a video drops right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel or anytime we go live, as is the case with Statboy Sports Bar, Open Mic Night, Talk Wrestling, Pay-Per-View PLE Watch-Along coverage, etc. Share these videos with your family, friends, loved ones, coworkers, movie fanatics, cinephiles in your life, fans of Johnny Depp, fans of Kate Winslet, fans of J.M. Barrie, fans of the Peter Pan tale. Anybody you can think of that would enjoy this content in this video, share it with them, as it's the only way we're going to keep my visibility up in YouTube's algorithms now that we are in fact a monetized channel right here on the platform. Thank you once again to everybody out there who joined me and tuned in this afternoon. It means so much more to me than you guys will ever know. And I will see you guys next time.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.